Hi everyone, welcome back to the second weekly technical insights for the second week of 2024. Our Singapore stock market ended the first week of trading on a positive note last Friday. The benchmark STI index was up 0.32% or 10 points to close at 3,184 points, one of the better performers in the region. The rest of the Asian markets were mostly in the red with the exception of Japan and Malaysia. Japan Nikkei 225 was up 0.27%. Shanghai Composite Index lost 0.85%, while Hong Kong Hang Seng Index was down 0.66%. On the US side, all three major US indices ended Friday modestly higher. The Dow Jones Index was up 0.07%, broad-based index S&P 500 gained 0.18%, and tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite Index advanced 0.09%. On the weekly view, most global indices were set for a loss in the first week of 2024. All three major US indices ended their 9-week winning streak after strong job numbers from non-farm payroll dashed any hopes of any earlier rate cuts. This sent the benchmark US 10-year Treasury yield spiking higher, touching a high of 4.1%. The Dow Jones Index dropped 0.59% to finish at 37,466 points. The broad-based S&P 500 index declined 1.52% to settle at 4,697 points. Tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite Index suffered the biggest decline at 3.52% for the week and broke the 15,000 handle to close at 14,524 points. In Asia, Hong Kong stock had the worst start to the new year since 2005 as a slowdown in China growth and China wealth manager Zhongzhi Enterprise filed for bankruptcy liquidation after failing to repay their debts as the firms grapple with the deepening property market crisis. The Hang Seng Index lost 3% last week to 16,535 points, reversing an uptrend that lasted the whole of December last year. The Hang Seng Tech Index tumbled even more at 4.57% to end the week at 3,592 points. Alibaba Group slid 3.2% to Hong Kong dollars 71.65, and Tencent Holdings also lost 2.2% to Hong Kong dollars 292.20. An official report on China showed manufacturing contracted for a third straight month in December, and decline in the home sales of the nation's biggest developer deepened again last month. Our STI index finished the first trading week of 2024 down 1.73% to 3,184 points, ending a 4-week winning streak. Breaking down the performance of the benchmark STI index, the banking stocks contributed to the weekly decline in the STI. DBS was the biggest loser last week among the three banks, losing 1.53% in the first week to $32.90. UOB also slipped 0.39% to end at $28.34. OCBC declined 1.46% to finish at $12.81. SGX Group was also down 2.53% to close at $9.68. And the best performer in the STI index was Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, rising about 4.03% to close at $1.55. ThaiBev was also another top gainer in the STI index, jumping 2.86% to end the week at 54 cents. So for this week's technical analysis, let's look at both Yangzijiang Shipbuilding as well as ThaiBev. First, let's look at Yangzijiang Shipbuilding. The shipbuilding giant had a positive week, outperforming the STI index last week, rising more than 2% on Friday and about 4% for the whole of last week to end the week at $1.55. The shipbuilder seems to be building on the strong performance of last year, rising 16.4%. This was driven by higher revenues and profit in 2023, and this momentum seems to be continuing with their order book trending higher, gaining new orders for their bulk and LNG carriers. The stock 12-month high was seen on 28th of August last year at $1.79. The 12-month low was seen at the beginning of last year on 5th of January at $1.14. Since the 12-month high that we saw in August, the stock has since been on a slight downtrend. After hitting a 12-month high in August last year, the stock has been trading in a downtrend for the past 3 or 4 months, and last week, it seems to have broken that downtrend to form a highest close since December. The stock price has broken above the yellow 50 days moving average at 1.47 on the first trading day of 2024, and it is now testing the blue color line over here, which is the 100 days moving average at $1.56. The 100 days moving average is often seen as a pivot level. If the stock is able to close above this 100 days moving average, it is likely to have a change in trend that we observed in the past 3 or 4 months and be on an upward trend. However, that was not the case as of last Friday close yet. So we still have to see what happened next week to Yangzijiang Shipbuilding share price. The MACD indicator is still currently showing positive momentum, and it shows that the price still has momentum to carry on the uptrend it has been seeing for the past 1 week at least. The RSI indicator, the latest reading, is now at 62 and broke above the 50-point neutral mark somewhere in the last week of December, signaling that the uptrend is likely to continue. We are also some distance away from the 70-point overbought mark, indicating that there could still be more upside to come for Yangzijiang Shipbuilding share price. So with both the indicators still showing positive momentum and the uptrend is likely to continue, the first resistance we'll be looking at will be around this line over here at the $1.61 level. Now, this level used to be a support level in the September period for Yangzijiang Shipbuilding share price, and it may have a change in polarity over here from a support level to a resistance level should Yangzijiang share price prove higher. And in this scenario, the risk and reward ratio isn't really in our favor yet, and I suggest trader to be patient and wait for a pullback to the 200 days moving average at $1.44 before assessing the trade setup again for a long position. Next, let's look at Thai Beverage. The stock had a positive week last week, rising 2.86% to close the week at 54 cents. The stock's 12-month high was seen on 12th of January over here at around 70 cents, and the 12-month low was seen during the end of November at around 49 cents. Since the 12-month high at the beginning of the year in January, we see that the stock price has been in a primary downtrend, and the stock seems to have rebounded quite strongly after hitting the low in November. The stock is now testing the blue color line, which is the 100 days moving average at 54 cents, which was last Friday closing price. So with the 100 days MA viewed as a pivot level, a close above the 100 MA would mean that the uptrend is likely to continue. However, if we are unable to close above this 100 days moving average at 54 cents next week, then this will become a resistance level again. The MACD indicator is still showing very strong momentum as reflected in the MACD histogram. And in the last 2 trading sessions, this MACD histogram seems to be subsiding in the positive momentum. So that is something that traders would want to look out for. The RSI indicator is now reading at 68 points. It crossed the 50-point neutral mark somewhere in December, signaling the start of the uptrend that we observed at least for the past 2 weeks. So this 68 points level is very close to the 70-point overbought mark and means that there may be limited upside to come for Thai Beverage share price. So with both indicators signaling that there may be a weakening of the momentum on the MACD indicator and a limited upside on the RSI on the uptrend that we are seeing, the stock may be using the blue color 100 days moving average as a pivot level, and traders should wait for a pullback to at least the 20 days or the 50 days moving average at 51 or 52 cents before considering a long position entry into Thai Beverage again. And that is all I have for the second video of 2024. As usual, if you do find the video useful, we appreciate your support by giving us a like or a share and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date to our latest content. And I'll see you again next week in the next Technical Insights.